So welcome back to a brand new episode of Walkin and Talkin with Tim. There you go. You practiced that, right?
Yeah.
So today's guest is James Butz, Jim Butz, my buddy. And Jim is the branch manager for not one, not two, not three, but four, right?
Four in the near future, yes.
Four in the near future, Envoy Mortgage companies, right? So I'm going to let Jim tell you a little bit about exactly what that means.
So I run a mortgage company. We have 20 different employees. Our home office is in Voorhees. We also have a location in Fishtown on Frankfurt Ave. We have a location opening up in Northfield in April, and then a location, fingers crossed, in Delaware with another realtor.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, that's a lot to do in, you told me 2 years, right?
We opened up, almost 2 years, June of 2020.
That's impressive for 2 years, man.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those overnight sensations kind of thing that you've really been working on for 30 years, 20 years. It's my 20 years in the industry kind of thing, you know.
So, and we talked a little bit about, so what got you into mortgage anyway? What really made you want to do mortgages?
My brother was in the mortgage industry. I was a high-producing furniture salesman. I got into an argument with the owner of the company.
Yeah.
He didn't like something that I did, and I talked to my brother, and he said, "This is what I'm doing," and I was like, "Okay." And funny enough, I went on an interview with a guy named Paul Conti, who I always laugh at. At the end of the interview, Paul called my brother and said, "He's not going to make it, but since he's your brother, I'm going to give him the job."
Oh, geez.
So my brother called me and he's like, "Dude, what'd you do? You messed this all up." And I was like, I thought I killed it. I don't know. And I went in and set records, and the rest is history.
You crushed it.
Crushed it.
So, click, years later. Mm-hmm. So everybody knows I ask tons of questions when we walk around. Jim will tell you that we just walked like 3 miles and some pretty big hills too. It's a good track.
Nice workout.
A nice workout. So that's why it's called Walking and Talking with Tim, because we actually walk, right? So, you had talked about the fact that, you have a big family now, and it's not new, but it's a big blended family. So tell us a little bit about your family.
So my oldest daughter is going to be 29 at the end of this month.
Right.
She lives in Tennessee.
Nice.
I have a stepdaughter who's 21.
Right.
Who I raised. Her father passed away when she was young, and I raised her with my first wife. And my first wife and I have a daughter. She'll be 15.
Right.
And then my new wife has a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, and then a 6-year-old. So we have 5 girls, 1 boy, and 1 granddaughter.
6 to 28, basically.
Yes.
It's a pretty big range.
Keep me young. That's why I have this baby face from all the kids, keeping up with them.
What's your favorite thing to do with your family?
So one-on-one, I'm a big, as silly as it sounds, I'm a big snuggler. Like, we joke around, but my 6-year-old Fia always is like, she'll call me at work. We didn't snuggle last night. We have to snuggle when you come. So really, it's kind of like just sitting on my reclining chair watching TV, talking and bonding. And as a group, we try to do something active. I've been doing 75 hard off and on for 9 months now. So we walk.
I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Yep.
We walk in the neighborhood, the 5 of us, the 6 of us, the 7 of us. We go down to the preserves in Millville, which is a nature trail. And do that. We're try to be active, try to, get some sweat in.
Yeah, man. And I asked you what your favorite vacation was, your favorite place to go, and you said that technically you really didn't have one.
Correct.
But you said the favorite place you have gone, you thought was probably the Bahamas, right?
When I was younger, we went sport fishing, and I caught an African pompano.
Oh, geez.
Which is a flat fish that's not as big as it feels because it's so flat. It gets this torque. I fought this thing for like 45 minutes. I thought I had a whale, and I pulled it up, and it was just kind of a blur, But that was really I work so much. I've been so busy in my life. I didn't go on a lot of vacations.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
going.
you've had a lot going on. So anybody that knows Jim, knows Jim's been through a lot of stuff in his life already. And you're only 49, right?
Yep.
So Jim's only 49 years old. Big 50's coming up.
Yep. July 29th.
Yeah, you're catching up to me. So it's all good. And it's a lot to have gone through what you've been through. I mean, you've been through a couple of different marriages, right?
Yep. 2 marriages. I feel like I lived 4 lives. That's kind of the way I look at it in my life. You know what I mean? Had my young life, had my early life, had my first marriage, and now my second marriage.
Roger that. What would you say the biggest thing you've learned about yourself and your success right now via having a coach? Because we talked about that, having a coach.
I talk about it a lot. My whole life, I've been kind of surrounded with people. Subservient's not the right word, but I've always been a leader. I owned businesses. I did a bunch of stuff, and the people that were around me kind of owed me something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They looked up to me, but they kind of co-signed whatever stuff I was doing wrong. I never
talked about this recently.
Yeah.
Co-signing your bullshit,
yeah,
right?
co-signing my bullshit all the time. And I never had someone who was like, yo,
what the hell are you doing?
what's going on? What's up with that? Why would you do this? What makes you think that's the right thing to do? I just didn't have a lot of people like that ever, you know? And getting into the harvest and being with people that will say, what makes you think that's a good idea? Or why would you ever think that's okay? Why would you do this, you know?
What were you thinking?
Yeah, a lot of times I've found that thoughts sound really good in my head. And then when I say them out loud and I see the reaction to people, I'm like, well, maybe that's not such a good idea. Maybe
might
that's
wanna
not a great
rethink that
risk
one.
that I'm taking there, you know? So that would be, it was kind of like I bought a network of friends that care about me, not that are, you know, there's no ego involved. Nobody's trying to intimidate you or push you down.
You invested.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
You invested in yourself.
I invested in myself, and like I said, it's been the best thing I've done, man.
And James is now a coach,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. So if you're looking for a coach, there's your guy right here.
I'm looking forward to
And
helping
obviously,
people.
Yeah, and obviously shout out to Devin Denofa,
Absolutely.
who was our coach.
Yeah.
So
Always shout
Always.
out to the Godfather.
always shout out to the big man.
Yeah.
If you could give everybody out there advice on life and business, what would that advice be?
So 2 things I would say. The first thing is think bigger. Whatever you're thinking, whatever your plans are, think bigger than what that is. Because I know I always have big plans, but in talking to, I've been around really, really successful people the last 6 months, like, you know, $100 million a year, billionaire kind of people, and they think big. They don't think small. They don't hit any singles. They're hitting home runs or they're not swinging, you know? And the other thing is, I would say, invest in yourself. Whether, you know, I'm doing coaching, you don't have to have a coach, but taking the time to listen to podcasts, listening to people that are more successful than you, listening to people that do things that you want to do, and really just being open-minded, like listening to how they do it. Success leaves clues. I don't know who said that, but I know somebody said that. And I know that once I stopped thinking that I knew everything and started thinking, let me go follow these people that are rich and find out how they got rich, things kind of turned around.
It's basically the stop trying to be the smartest guy in the room.
Absolutely. If you're the smartest guy in the room, what's that?
Find a new room.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So, James, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, how do they do it?
Send me a text message, 856-571-1857, or my email is still from my old radio show. It's Butz and Butz, BUTZAND, @gmail.com.
Roger that. Well, that wraps us up for today. We had a great day, though.
Yeah, it's beautiful out here.
Weather's incredible. So thanks for watching. Thanks for following. Keep on moving, and we'll see you next time on Walkin' and Talkin' with Tim.